Hi, I'm Icicle and welcome to my studio. I'm a drum and bass producer from Holland, if you didn't know. I used to live in England for a long time, and together with Drum and Bass Academy I have made a course describing my entire process. It's an Ableton course over 4 hours long in which I go through drum design, drum programming, sound design, bass lines, composition and arrangement, some advanced sound design techniques as well, and mastering. Included are the project files as well, samples, presets, everything, so you can properly follow along with me and get to the same result as myself. So I hope you enjoy.
Hey, it's Joe, aka Aperio. I'm here today to show you how to make a drum and bass track, or how I would make a drum and bass track. Every producer has their own way of doing things, everyone has different methods, but as long as you can catch that vibe and get the sound that you want, it doesn't really matter how you do it. There's no real right or wrong with music, in my opinion. So I've got a little loop here that I set up just before starting the tutorial, and it's pretty simple. It's got a bass, it's got sub bass, some simple drums, a vocal sample and a few little plucks. So have a quick listen if you want. So this is how I usually start. I start off with like a vocal or a melody to ignite some ideas, and yeah, then I usually make like a bass line, and then the drums come after, and then I just start filling it out from there, really. And it's the hardest part is sort of taking it out of an 8-bar, 16-bar loop and turning it into a 4 or 5 minute track. But doesn't happen straight away, but over time you just gradually build and build on top of it until you are happy with what you've got, really. And then the mixdown procedure starts, which is a whole other ball game. So there's plenty to do, but I'll show you as simply as I can how I go around making the track. So I'll show you what I've already done so far. I made this bass line on Massive. So it's really simple. All it is just a square wave, square saw 1 on the first oscillator, another square wave with the wavetable position slightly up for the second oscillator. And I've just detuned each oscillator slightly, so 12 semitones and then 12 on that side as well, and then just put it through a low pass filter, set the cutoff to about midway, and then I have just played around with the resonance and the cutoff to get a nice deep sound. But also I've taken an LFO and I've dragged it into this box here, and then I've just basically pushed this up to create a bit of movement, a bit of a wobble. But I like to have a very subtle wobble sound, because if you go overkill it can sound a little bit old school dubstep from 2011, 2012, like the electronic bro step stuff, and you don't want that, really. So just keep it minimal, and you can set the ratio on here to how many wobbles you want per bar. So yeah, that's the bass sound. I sometimes put a sub bass underneath this as well, but for me to do that I also need to go onto my mixer channel, go on the bass sound and just take off all the frequency below about 50 Hertz, so that the sub bass can come through and it won't collide with the main bass. So the sub bass is just a standard 3 times oscillator sine wave. It's just to add a bit of that rumble. The vocals are just simply ad-lib samples from a pack. They, at the beginning, they sounded like this. All I've done is I've done a bit of EQing again, just taking off everything below about 100 hertz, and then gone to reverb. Put quite a big decay on my reverb, low cuts up slightly, and about 21% on the actual reverb knob. So I've also put a delay on using Fruity Delay 3. I've tried to use as many FL Studio built-in plugins as I can for this, but the same principle works with every plugin you've got. So if you've got a really good reverb or delay plugin, it's the same principle, it's just a different layout. So yeah, my time is there, and then I've just made the level down to about there. And I've added a bit of chorus as well to make the vocals sound a bit more interesting. So that's the vocal. I better just point out also that the reason why I cut below about 100, sometimes even more, like 200 for vocals, is because you don't want any low-end rumble or pop, and it just gets rid of any unwanted noise. Because if you're using a female vocal, the frequency range is very high, mid, top end anyway, so you don't really need the low mid. In this instance, I probably wouldn't compress the vocal because it sounds like it already has been compressed because of the studio vocal recordings from a pack. But I'll show you what I do anyway for compression. You normally want your compression before your reverb and delay, simply because if you have it after, you can then end up compressing the delay and the reverb, which will make things sound quite squashed. So I use my plugins. I use a Native Instruments compressor called Solid Bus Compression. Really easy. I think the trick with compression is just trial and error, really. You just have to make sure that it's that happy medium between not too much movement in the waveform, but also not too squashed. You just got to play around until you find that happy medium. And every track suits a different type of compression. So if it was a very dance floor inspired track, you'd maybe want to push the compression a lot further. But if it's like a smooth, old school rolling kind of liquid track, maybe you want to leave a little bit more room for the vocal waveform, so things sound a bit more natural. So for the drums, what I've done is I have just layered some sample pack one-shot hits together. I think it's really important that you collect as many sample packs as you can if you're a dance music producer. I think mainly for the drums, really. So I've just collected a few different kicks and snares from different packs. And I just blend the volumes between the snares and the kicks, so I get that sweet spot and that perfect blend between the different types of kicks and snares. I like to find a kick which is quite poppy and a kick which is quite subby, and I like to mix them together. And I also like to find different types of snares, so I like quite a deeper snare and then more of a poppy rim shot, and then maybe something else in there depending on what it needs really. And then I've got some hats, also from a sample pack. And what I've done here is I've just done a standard rhythm here with the hats, but I've just changed the velocity so that there's a bit more movement, so that there's some accents in the hats, so that it doesn't sound robotic and it sounds a bit more humanized. So that'll do for now. It's not really mixed that well at the moment, but just to get the idea down really. Finally, I just got a little synth sound from Contact, also Native Instruments. You just mess around with that and see what works really. It's called Matrix Pad 3. And I've just thrown some delay on, reverb, a bit of EQing, very subtle. Taken off everything below 200 Hertz again for this. And the delay is really creating a bit of movement with the plucky pad sound. So that's without, and that's with. It's just for the background really. I've also got a Fruity Love filter on it, and it's some automation to create a bit of a fade from low cut to open. I quite like to do filter sweeps because it can build tension and then drop the tension at any point, and you can do that so easily with just putting a filter on things and then automating the filter, the cutoff. So yeah. So now I need to basically get this idea out of a loop and into more of an actual song structure. Now, a lot of the time, drum and bass tracks will start off with the drums, maybe like 16 bars, 32 bars of drums. I also forgot to say actually that I used an old school funk and soul sample here, and all I've done with this actually is just cut everything below 2K. So that's how it sounds normally. I'd probably cut it below 1K actually. And that's just to create a bit more movement and give it a bit more of a rolling feel. The amen break is also quite good to put on top of tracks. As I create the track, I keep adding little bits here and there. Like if I feel like the vocals need more work, then I'll adjust things. If I feel like the drums need a few more hats in them, or a bit more punch in the snare or kick, I'll simply just do it as I go along. I know it's not the most straightforward way of doing it, but I learn on the way what the track needs and what it requires, as opposed to knowing from the start, which is probably quite normal, to be honest with you, because I don't think anyone knows exactly what they want to make from the start. It's a game of trial and error, really, as mentioned before. Sometimes I add a little riser to add some tension, so I'll just go on 3 times oscillator, choose white noise for each oscillator, and then as simple as that. Just drag like that, and then we just assign it to a mixer track. White noise, and then we just get a filter, and it's another cutoff. Create automation clip. So adds a bit of a rise and a fall. Repeat the vocals a little bit. So I'm just trying to figure out my layout here, my structure to the tune. So what I'm thinking is drums at the start for the first 16 bars. Then you've got 16 bars breakdown / build up, and then you've got the drop. Now what you can do to build up a bit of tension with the vocals so that you know that the vocal is coming, you can actually just get a vocal part, make a unique sample, assign it to a new mixer track, and we're going to reverse the vocal. So what we're going to do is we're going to reverse the vocal, and then we're going to put a shitload of reverb on it. Too much reverb on it. And the reason why we do this is because we're going to... You see that decay at the end? It's still going now. We're going to bounce that down, that decay, and then we're going to put it back into the DAW. And then we're going to reverse it back, and then we're going to use that decay as a riser for the vocal. So, export this as a WAV. Just put it on my desktop for now, probably. RevVox. Where are you, RevVox? Cannot find it. Right, here we go. There's probably a better way of doing that where I don't even have to go on my desktop at all, but anyway, here it is. So now we're going to reverse it again so that it's gone back to the way it was before. And I'm just going to use that first little bit there, which was the tail, but is now the beginning, the attack almost. Just make sure you don't get any of the actual vocal in, you just want that tail. So then, what I do is I go back, I put it back into the Rev Vox mixer track, but then I take off the reverb because we don't need it anymore. It can sometimes be alright to keep actually if you want a bit of a fade out as well. I think that sounds quite cool actually. Get rid of that though. Maybe turn it down a little bit, the reverb. So now, if I put that there, just need to turn it down a little bit so it's actually in mix, in keeping with the track. That's a little trick you can use to add more atmosphere to the vocals. Also what you can do is you can create a kick bomb, which I quite enjoy making sometimes. It's very simple. Just get any type of kick, throw it in, and just do one kick, put it in like that, then just add another shitload of reverb. I do love reverb, to be fair. Use it on a lot of my instruments. So call this kick bomb. I should really have a better reverb plugin, to be honest with you, but just using this at the moment. If you add a parametric EQ, cut some of that top end off. Just see what works really. So we've got a bit of a kick bomb now as well, just to add a bit more emphasis on the breakdown. Oops, I just got rid of my sub bass. I'm not putting in the sub bass straight away in the breakdown. I'm going to obviously keep it for the drop because that's where you need the most impact. I guess we want the drums back in now over here. Sometimes my breakdowns will be bigger than this. They'll probably be about 32 bars, but I think this will do for this track. quite like the filter to build up the pluck sound, and then it just suddenly drop again here to go minimal again. Obviously the filter sweep as well on the white noise needs to come down. Gonna add a few more pads and melodies now, I think, so it needs to fill out a little bit more with that. One thing you can do is you can go on any sample pack really. I'm just gonna go on this and find some at random. So let's go on effects. So I quite like this, but I'm not going to use it just as it is, because to be fair, it's probably not even in the right key. Not completely off. So what I'll do first is I will pitch it down so it's the correct key. Probably only really use a bit of this sound. I'll never just keep it as it is. I will basically just chop up samples, just random samples, and try and get cool sounding pads out of them. I find it quite good fun really, because you never know the outcome. So I just chopped it down to individual hits now. This is me just completely improvising. It might go completely wrong. I'm just having to play about, to be honest with you. It's how I seem to do things when I get to this stage. Assign it to a mixer track. Experiment pad, I'll call it. Probably chuck a load of reverb on, as you know by now. That's what I like to do. Taking off a lot of the low end again. Add some delay to this. Just take off that last note, I think. Oh no, maybe it needs it at the end actually. So yeah, this is just adding another texture really. On its own it probably sounds a bit rubbish, but when you build them together, it sounds a bit better. Let's try a bit of chorus, see what that sounds like on it. I can also add a filter to this as well. For me, it's just about building textures, creating rises and falls, just taking, creating a bit of a journey for the listener, basically. It's that euphoric sound that I quite like to implement. One thing that I forgot to add earlier actually about the drums is that I use sidechain compression. So I basically do something where I implement a ghost kick. So a ghost kick is a kick that's in the track but you can't hear it, but it's still acting, it's still doing something. So all it is a normal kick. You basically mimic the drum beat that you are playing with your kick and snare. So I've got the exact same rhythm here than I do that is on here. So the kick and snare that you can hear, bump cat, that is mimicked with a ghost snare. Sorry, a ghost kick and snare, I guess. And so then what you do is you assign that to a mixer track. So somewhere I've got ghost kick here. All you do, so normally your ghost kick will be assigned to this master channel, so it is now, but all you do is just press that off and then the ghost kick is still moving but it's not actually heard in the track. Now the beauty of this is that now you can compress every other instrument and use the ghost kick as a trigger. So all you do is you go on your ghost kick, and so you see here you right click and you'd click sidechain to this track, and once you've done that, the ghost kick then sidechains the bass, for instance, in this occasion, and then all you need to do is go on the limiter, fruity limiter, open one of those up, go on the compression setting, it's usually on there, but if you go on the compression setting, bring down the threshold to about there and the ratio to about there, pull the sidechain up so it says number 1. If you see this purple here, this is the kick and snare, the ghost kick and snare, pulling down that bass so that the kick and snare the real kick and snare can come through and punch through louder. with more impact. Now I do this with pretty much every instrument apart from maybe vocals, to create that punching feel with the drums, but don't go over the top too much, otherwise it can sound a little bit weird and the sound can be too flattened. So probably about that. So now I've got a new sound, this experimental pad. I'm going to get the ghost kick, right click, sidechain to this track, fruity limiter, compression, sidechain to number 1, down to about here. And the purple there is what is getting cut out. This gives it that subtle edge, creates the slight movement in the bass and the instruments. I might do a little melody now, I think, over the top, so I'd probably use something like Contact. So I have an insert Contact.
Hi, I'm Icicle and welcome to my studio. I'm a drum and bass producer from Holland, if you didn't know. I used to live in England for a long time, and together with Drum and Bass Academy I have made a course describing my entire process. It's an Ableton course over 4 hours long, in which I go through drum design, drum programming, sound design, bass lines, composition and arrangement, some advanced sound design techniques as well, and mastering. Included are the project files as well, samples, presets, everything, so you can properly follow along with me and get to the same result as myself. So I hope you enjoy.
Let's go for like an electric piano sound. It's quite nice. So all I'll do then is just drag this into the timeline and just try and experiment and get a melody going over the top to create some more interest. I think I've got an idea now, actually. So now I'd get that sound, I'd throw it into the mixer track. Melody. I think what I'll do here is I'll get a love filter. Turn it down slightly. Parametric EQ. Cut a bit of the lows. Another load of reverb. A bit more delay again. You know the procedure by now. I'm quite happy with that. I think that sounds quite nice. So yeah, that adds a bit more melody to the track. So I'm just going to do the sidechain compression on that new melody that I've just added. There's a ghost kick. Sidechain to this track. Fruity limiter onto the compression setting. Sidechain to 1, down. Now, what you can do at this stage, if you want to add some more interest, is you can create some little bass blips and a little movement in the bass. You can do this one of two ways. You can create a sound from scratch on Massive or something like that, or you can go fish through your sample packs again and see if anything stands out that might fit in your track. So we can have a quick look. So if I just go on Neuro Bass Volume 1, I know this is like the opposite of a Neuro track, but you just never know what you can find if you have a look around. Pretty heavy basses, to be fair, but that's quite nice. I think I could use that in mine. So that as well. So what I'll do in this instance is, so if you want a little bit of a bass blip in the drop, you want it to happen at the end of, say, 8 bars or 4 bars, something like that, just to add some interest. So say if we did it here. What I'd normally do is I'd get rid of the actual bass line that is being played. And now it's just a case of trying to blend it into your track in order for it to sound like it is pretty smooth and natural. So the second one I don't think is actually in tune, so it's just a case of messing around again, like a lot of things are in the production process. Just don't be afraid to do whatever you want and just see what works, really. Going to make a unique sample of this, so I've got 2 copies of the same, and I'm going to probably try and pitch it down. Sometimes if a bass is like a bass section is too short, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just push the time up so that it fills out the section more. Because as it's just like a simple standalone bass noise, it doesn't have to be in the exact same BPM as your track. It just needs to fit in on the grid. Let's put this in the into the actual mixer then. Maybe add a little bit of chorus to it. And so you can just do that, experiment, mess around with the sounds that you take from sample packs. Don't just leave them as they are. They often won't really fit to your track specifically anyway, so it's really best to adapt it to work for your specific tune. Just trying to make some little changes there. Just so it's a bit different for the next time the bass blip comes around. Just try and get rid of the normal bass line. Let's keep extending this drop then. Going to need a crash, I think, to add some emphasis at the start of the drop. See if I can find anything. There's one I've already used before. That's a pretty good crash, to be fair. Sometimes also grab this, make a unique sample, reverse, just to add more of a build. So, I think a bit more melody in the later sections of the drop might change things up a little bit. Go on, contact again. The only thing about contact is that sometimes if you use a lot of the same plugin in one project, it can start to slow down your project a little bit and also create quite a bit of CPU, which then adds crackle. And you've probably noticed already that maybe it's not running as smooth, my project, as it was before, simply because I've used contact a few times. But what you can do in this case is bounce down the track, bounce down that melody once you're happy with it, so that it no longer takes up the CPU that it did before, because it's mainly the plugin working that is making it slower. So if you get rid of the plugin and just use the WAV file, it's a lot quicker, smoother. Right, so just trying to think what it needs. Acoustic guitar? I don't know. Let's have a listen. Oh, nah. Could be interesting. There are some really good sounds on here, to be fair, on Contact. It's worth getting. I got it as part of the bundle Complete 9, which is really good. Costs quite a bit, but once you've got it for lifetime. And there's so much on there to use. I still haven't used it myself fully, so definitely cheaper than getting a Native Instruments plugin on its own as well. If you get the full bundle, it works out a lot better for price. So that's just another little melody there that can add some interest later on in the drop. Let's process it a little bit now. A little bit of a flanger on there just to add a little bit more movement. Perhaps a bit of distortion too, maybe. Sounding more like an electric guitar now. nice little feel to it, hasn't it? I feel like it's getting more and more euphoric as we go along. I might actually try and finish this track after doing this and add it to a collection of demos. I'll see how it goes, but yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I hope you guys are learning a thing or two. So I'll probably get another low pass filter. Just do another quick cut off automation. Sometimes if I want to add a bit of a blend between the first part of the drop and the bit where the guitar comes in, I'll just tease it a little bit the bar before, or the 4 bars before, and then slide it in with a low pass filter sweep. I bet that melody will sound really good at the start as well, to be fair. Let's hear what it sounds like. Maybe a bit more of a build. You can use the same filter sweep, the exact same copy, and add to it by just pressing Make Unique. So there, that stays the same. This is a new version. You can hear that CPU now. The more and more contacts that you use, the more CPU heavy the project becomes. Right. So, sometimes it can be nice also in the build-up to add like a little drum build-up. So sometimes what you can do, so if you grab just the drums, then just export as a WAV. Save it to my desktop again. There you go, I can find it this time. So yep, throw that in straight away. So it's a bounce down version of the drum build. All I'll do then is just throw that there. Assign it to the mixer track. Fruity Love filter, automation clip, and just a little build with the fade again. Sometimes nice to have a bit of a break here, a bit of a gap where there's no build. Sounds quite nice. So sometimes I'll just stumble across new effects and new things from sample packs, and I'll just implement them if I feel like they could work. So I quite like these because they seem like nice little fades. That could be used quite nicely, that little fill there. Just get it time stretched. Just a little fill to add into the, just before the drop. Just all little ideas that you can use to add to the track, to the quality of the build and the drop. Another thing you can do with the drums actually is add like some more hats as it goes along to add interest. So if you find some like little shuffles or something. So go on loops. That's perfect. We pitch them down a little bit. We want the vocals to re-enter at some point. So that could be good to throw them in now as well. Sorry, I'm not the best at organisation with things, so I'm sorry if obviously some producers who do tutorials are a little bit more concise and have everything labelled and colour coordinated, so I'm sorry that I don't do that, but sometimes I just like to get the idea on paper and then do the sort of like the organisation afterwards. I guess it's just the way I work. There you go. So I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you've learnt a thing or two about how I work as a producer. Let's listen to the final version of the tutorial track. Obviously it's not 4.5 minutes long like a normal drum and bass track, but usually after I've done what I've done now, I will create another breakdown and build up and then go into the second drop and add some variation here and there. So let's have a listen to what we've worked on today. I've bounced it down and I'm going to play it as a WAV file, sorry, MP3 file, just because there was a lot of CPU on my actual project.
Hi, I'm Icicle and welcome to my studio. I'm a drum and bass producer from Holland, if you didn't know. I used to live in England for a long time, and together with Drum and Bass Academy I have made a course describing my entire process. It's an Ableton course over 4 hours long in which I go through drum design, drum programming, sound design, bass lines, composition and arrangement, some advanced sound design techniques as well, and mastering. Included are the project files as well, samples, presets, everything, so you can properly follow along with me and get to the same result as myself. So I hope you enjoy.